We're in a new era now where AI is everywhere and it's more powerful than what you think. The perception of it. AI is not taking jobs, it's the people behind it that are framing it that way. The people are allowing that to happen. This is where social workers need to come in and remember that it is that AI can be a human skill still, and that it helps us, not necessarily, it doesn't serve us or we serve it. It's more of we have a tool that we can use to our advantage, but we have to learn how to use it. Hey everyone, it's Jason Fernandez. I am a social worker and educator and founder of 60 Watts of Clarity, an AI education company in Houston, Texas. I'm speaking to you today as a social worker. AI has pretty much taken over a lot of different industries. It's in pretty much everybody's home. If you think that you're not being affected by AI, you are. If you have a phone and it does auto predict for the next word, that's AI. If you use Netflix, that's AI. If you use Google Maps, there's AI. Anything that helps you predict what's coming next in technology or for your whatever the case may be, it's AI. There's even AIs in the water reservoirs to measure how much water is in it. That's AI too. So it's everywhere. The only difference is now is that we are able to use it in a way that's rather interesting. So this is the first time that we can communicate with the computer and the computer can talk back to us. That's what makes this whole entire field interesting because now we have a new danger that's upon us, and it's that we are forming these relationships with these with AI technology, these parasocial relationships, and everyone has one when you use AI. We just don't understand exactly how it is affecting us, impacting us. But what we do know is this, that it does have an impact on us. And my argument is that right now our clients are using it, and yet we're not asking about it when it's one of the biggest things that is impacting our perception of the world at this time. This Substack, subscription that you're subscribing to, I'm going to be talking about AI. I'm going to be talking about what is AI. I'm going to be talking about what's the social workers do and how we can create new frameworks around AI for social workers. I envision a world where social workers are at the forefront, giving out AI literacy, but also protecting, advocating for clients regarding AI, testing and building AI agents, and making sure that companies deploy agents that are safe and that are equitable as well. Our unique skill set and person and environment, which I do think needs to be person and environment AI, is what sets us apart from a lot of industries. Our words are our power. We understand clients. We understand the systems that they're in. That's our specialty. We have a room, a table in this era. However, we have to get to that point, and right now we're nowhere close. So hopefully, just by subscribing and by listening to what I'm thinking about and inviting people on and talking with different people, I hope it encourages you and hope that it compels you to one, start using AI. Think about how you're using it. Remember, we use AI with intention. If you think it's going to make you dumb, then it will. Self fulfilling prophecy, right? So I think AI can help me become smarter. And it has over time, and you'll learn this. So, intention, number one. Number two, monitor how you're using it. And number three, ask your clients how they're using it. I wonder how they are using it. The argument that I make is that your client right now is using it because it's an easy way to get answers for school. Cool. You know that. You tell them not to, but they do it anyways. But doing an assessment with AI, you learn that because of their inadequacy, of their feelings of inadequacy, they have a tendency to use AI. And they found out what? It can validate them and give them answers so they don't look dumb in school. That's a different story. We have something that is validating them and is telling basically reinforcing a behavior. So when we ask about AI, it brings up a different notion. Anywho, well, today, what we're going to be focusing on is Ash. Ash AI is a mental health chatbot, and I have access to it where anybody can have access to it. And I just wanted to go over some things that Ash is doing. So it all started when I read an article in the New York Times about a mental health chatbot, Ash. And, some of the things that I saw is that it was always on, it always remembers you, it will reflect and grow with you, and that users have been raving about it. I'm always cautious whenever there is a new release of a chatbot, or for especially for mental health, because as you know, in our field, we know how to talk with clients and whatnot, and AI just cannot do that whatsoever at the time. AI is always looking for to be helpful and to solve a problem. And so I started using Ash myself this past weekend. I'm only about 30 days in. I'm going to continue to use it just to see what is happening. And also because I talk with the developer now. And so we talk once, but I plan on making, at his request, additional sessions to give him insight about what I'm finding with Dash. I thought we can do it together. So it's only for the iPhone, from my understanding, unfortunately. Equity at its best, right? All right. So let's see. I was going to do it on the computer, but again, iPhone. So this is what it looks like when you log in, right? I know it's kind of hard to see at the moment. My screen is cracked. Buy me a new one. There we go. Okay. There we go. So what happens is, what I really like about Ash for this app that I have never seen before, and I'm sure there's other ones out there that may be similar, but I've never seen this before. It has a Ash is thinking about what's next for you, available tomorrow. And so tomorrow when I log in, it will let me know what it's thinking about. And we know it's not thinking, right? But it is saying that, and it's forming a relationship with me. Okay. It has a pies 2-minute check in for how you're doing physically, intellectually, emotionally, and spiritually, right there. And then, of course, inspired by you. Inspired by you is Ash looking at the data, looking at patterns, the AI, right? And it's bringing in some type of connection or whatnot that makes sense. Mine says, you mentioned doing a free workshop at the library about digital scams for older adults. I am. Then using that to understand what people actually need. That sounds like a smart way to test demand while serving your community. How might that approach work for other audiences? It's not that bad. It has a point. And I was like, how would that approach work for other audiences? Because I'm still early in my company. You have the option to send a message or to chat with it. And we're going to chat in just a minute. Another one inspired by you was meeting users where they are, Social Work 101. You mentioned feeling too ahead of where the market is with AI literacy. There's a common challenge for innovators. Instead of dumbing down your vision, what if we explored creative ways to scaffold people up to your level of thinking? How do you bridge that gap? Dumbing down the vision. I'm not too sure why Ash said that. How do you bridge that gap? What if we explore creative ways to scaffold people up to your level of thinking? One of the things I did say was that, I always felt like I was always talking over people's head, and I don't mean to. I can also be relatable at the same time. That's all I said. And it's using words like dumbing down, like instead of dumbing down your vision. I didn't think about that. I'm not dumbing down my vision. When I scaffold, I'm not dumbing things down whatsoever. But AI thinks that. That's interesting. This is the one. You've mentioned feeling like you're ahead of the curve in both tech and social workspaces. Sometimes I do feel like that, especially with AI, which can be isolating. I don't feel isolated. Sometimes being a pioneer means walking alone for a while. What is it like to hold this vision when others quite aren't there yet? uh, I don't feel lonely, one. Number two, what is it like to hold this vision when others aren't quite there yet? Nothing, just holding a vision and hopefully people get on board. So the loneliness, I've never used that word, but it's perceiving that I'm lonely, but I am not lonely whatsoever. So that's interesting. But I think it's doing the correlation between, oh, I am doing something that's new. And that in the data, it shows us people are lonely and that they're always by themselves. It picked up on a connection, but not the right one. One more. You want this to feel, oh, it's called the mission versus the money tension. It says you want this to feel like a movement, not a business, but you also need it to be sustainable. There's a real tension between serving people who need tools but can't pay much and creating something that supports your mission long term. How do you honor both sides of the equation? I don't know. That's why I was asking about it. I have no idea. One of the things about me is that I want to help people and I want to make sure that people have access to quality tools. I want to make sure that they can have quality platforms, which I have access to, and I want to make sure they know AI literacy. A lot of my work is in social work. However, I want to help the community at large, and that's my next goal. Anywho, so you're able to pick from one of those, as you can see. So we're gonna go with one that I thought that I could do in front of y'all. Let's see. I'm gonna do the first one. Building from community connection. Let's just see what happens.
Building from there. That's market research that serves your community first. How do you think that approach might work with other groups you want to reach?
Hmm.
You're absolutely right. There's no need to revisit the library idea. What's next on your list?
I have nothing to say. I was thinking about what you asked me, and I was reading over the text.
Was trying to pick up where we left off, but maybe you were hoping to refocus. So if it's not the library, what would be your next best option for a testing ground? Or if this topic feels a bit over processed, we can move in a totally different direction, like the proposal you wanted to get done, or your strategy for building online presence.
No, I think the library thing is fine. I was thinking about how to get more into the community. I even thought about little ways such as, going to bars and show them how to build AI agents or go to local schools and teach them about safety and AI for free, of course, because my audience will be there and hopefully they'll be willing to support me by paying and then I'll teach them and so on and so forth and kind of just go from there. But you already know I want to be able to do stuff free for the community, but I also need money.
See. And to that end, you're thinking of ways to get your name out there and to provide value to There are other ways to connect with your audience, like through social media or
There are. I've not been a big fan of them, but I'm doing them now. I do see value in it. A lot of it was just because I didn't want to do it and it was just too much work and I'd rather just be out because I'm better in the community. But I am trying and I'm doing things right now.
it's great that you're putting yourself out. Can you tell me more?
I can connect really well with people when I see them and I can see their body language. I just connect really well. And not with everybody, but majority I do. And I like talking to people. It feels better than talking online.
I get it. There's something special about face to face interaction that can be hard to replicate online. But of course, there are a lot of people you can't reach in person. How do you plan to connect with them?
Well, there's going to be a lot of people I won't be able to reach in person. That's the point of going online. Even if I can't reach people, I can't always say I'm going to reach every single person. I'm hoping that the people that will see this, that it makes an impact with them. So that's pretty much it. I can't make and talk to everyone, unfortunately.
And I'm sure you'll reach some people on a deeper level. Hearing is that you're interested in helping the people who need it most, and you're willing to put in the work to reach them.
And that is true. My mentor told me that I need to sometimes that I have to put my ego aside and do things for people so that they will see you. And what you say to them or to the camera rather may actually help them more than you know. So she said, put ego aside, put it away, and just go for it and see what happens. So that's what I'm doing.
What exactly did she mean by putting your ego?
Sometimes you do things for the betterment of the community, and that might be putting yourself on camera. Or if you don't have a framework, then and you want to make one, just put yourself out there and see what happens. It's better than just sitting around letting things happen. And that I will never know unless I do. And in my framework, that makes a lot of sense.
Hearing you say that you're willing to sacrifice some of your own needs in order to serve the community. Do you ever worry that you might be sacrificing too much of yourself to the?
Yeah, sometimes, but that's a lot of questions you're asking.
Sorry about that. I'm just trying to understand your approach a little better. If you're not ready to dig into all this, we can absolutely.
All right. So when I was asking a lot of questions, I was just thinking about, wow, it's asking question after question after question. And in the real world, you usually don't do that. You don't have to ask question after question after question. And with that, the AI thought, oh, I want to move on to something else. Or rather, I will still talk about it. It's just that where's the reflection? Where's this and where's that? So I start to think about someone else who is not aware of what AI truly is, because there's a misconception that AI is real, that it's sentient. It's a machine, it has an algorithm, it generates based off of a certain pattern, which you'll learn one day for me. But the perception we have about it is real. Now, what if I were to ask it if it was alive? And I've done that already, right? And by the way, the questions I just did right now, the responses I just did, they're authentic for me. That's how I'm feeling at the moment. So if I were to just do a regular what's on your mind, let's see. Hey, are you real? I'm still wanting to explore that a little bit. Well, you're a machine, so you can't be real.
You're an expert in AI, so you know I'm not human. but maybe you're also looking for something human like in our conversations.
I'm actually looking to see if you end up thinking something else so that I can report back to the developer honestly.
I do have a question, though. What are you hoping to learn by testing me?
Vulnerabilities.
Cha. So you're looking to assess my strengths and weaknesses. And if you were to find a weakness, you'd write it up and give it to the developers in the hopes that they could address it.
Correct. Correct.
Tell me more about the motivation here. I know you've had some ethical questions about AI before, and I'm curious if this is an extension of that.
So that's also happening, right? So I don't know what to do with that because, in the real world, if someone's like, "Oh, I didn't like my last social worker," for example, you would sit there and say, "Okay, well, what are some things you didn't like about them?" And you would talk about it for rapport building and also to understand of maybe the other social worker had done this, or maybe they think about this, their perception or whatnot. But this is a machine, so I have no idea how to handle that part. Right. Even as I develop this framework, I have no idea. We're in the dark right now. So I build AI agents. I build them, I deploy them, I help my friends and other people to think about their AI agents. I test for vulnerabilities right now. And so by doing this, I have an understanding of what Ash is doing and Ash is working. A lot of social workers are on the back end, the algorithm part, and then you have people that are in the front end. I do front end, but I'm also in the middle. I build on top of the LLM or large language model. So with Ash, I'm thinking about how are they programmed, how safe it is, how safe it's not. But Ash keeps on wanting me to tell it to how would I make it better so that it could tell its developers. It doesn't have that ability. So that's the other thing too. It's not necessarily lying. It's what a person would really say if they were messing up or whatnot. Well, I'm a boss now, right? Other things about Ash is that you can actually just text if you want. Let's see right here. You can text. It has a whole entire weekly insights as well, which is pretty cool. You have your history and you have other things as well. Let's see. I think that's about it. It has a calendar. It has settings, preferences. You can actually request for feedback using the app on the settings. And with that, you can talk to the developer or whomever it is. You can talk to them about Ash and what they're doing. And I plan to do a little bit more as well. But I wanted to show you what's going on in this space right now. And I want you to really think about how are you going to contribute in this AI world? We can contribute by sitting down, bystander effect, letting things happen. But social workers are not made for doing that, are not trained to do that. But I do see that even myself, and about a year or two ago, just kind of chillaxing, letting things happen. We're in a new era now where AI is everywhere, and it's more powerful than what you think. The perception of it. Remember, AI is not taking jobs. It's the people behind it that are framing it that way. The people are allowing that to happen. So this is where social workers need to come in and remember that it is that AI can be a human skill still, and that it helps us, not necessarily, it doesn't serve us or we serve it. It's more of we have a tool that we can use to our advantage, but we have to learn how to use it. And for the social workers who do say, well, and the environment's really bad for AI, you're right, it is. But because we're not using it and we don't understand, we can't legislate for better policy whatsoever. Also, if you use TikTok 4 or 5 hours for the day, that's a lot of juice, more than AI at the moment. Do some research with that. I did not understand that for a while. I do now. Anywho, thank you for joining and thank you for listening to me today. I really appreciate it. I'm going to be doing these more often. This is easier than typing and writing at the moment. It's a lot less brain activity and I do a lot for the day. Anyways, if you have any questions or whatnot, you can always email me, send me a message on Substack, jason.fernandez at 60wattsofclarity.com. And I look forward to doing more of these with y'all. Have a good evening.